Hello everyone. We are here in London, 2024 January, and today is a massive demonstration where thousands of people are turning out to a pro-Palestinian march. And with me is Georgia,
Helen.
and Helen. Hi Georgia and Helen. Welcome to Streetlight News. And we just want to ask you a couple questions about what has been happening today. So what has been the vibes today? Tell us, what has been really going on?
Well, we're both members of the Socialist Party, so the main thing that we've been discussing with people today is this is a general election year. We've got to carry on with the protest movement. It's put huge pressure on our government, but there's a general election and neither the Tories or the Labour Party offer an anti-war, anti-austerity alternative. So we've been talking to people about, can we get that for the next general election? Anti-austerity and anti-war candidates who are going to stand up for Gaza, but also stand up for people here and say we want a different system, one of peace and prosperity for ordinary people rather than bombs being dropped, a housing crisis and all the other things that people suffer from. So yeah.
And how has been people responding to your call?
We've got a really good response to that. Yeah.
Positive feedback?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Good. In the political circles, it has been alleged that these marches here in London, these pro-Palestinian marches, are all about hatred and anti-Semitism. In your experience, is that accurate? Is that correct?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I think people are very open, people are very keen to discuss different ideas. I mean, in any group there are fringe people who might harbour feelings of hatred, but that's definitely not the general, like the mass feeling at all. It's definitely a feeling of just anger at the suffering of people of Gaza and people who are open to different ideas of how we can all live more peacefully. So yeah, I would just say that the vast majority of people are open-minded and just want an alternative to what's happening right now. They want a peaceful existence for everybody. So yeah.
Yeah, and people that have come for different reasons, who maybe have no connection personally to people in Gaza, but have seen what war, what persecution can do all around the world and want to stand against that for everybody. So actually it's been marches of people standing against all forms of oppression, all forms of division, all forms of hatred, and saying we want a peaceful, decent future for all. And actually we can't get that with this system. All they have is war, bombs, inequality and poverty, and we've got to have an alternative that's a decent future for all.
Good. And why would you say that the government is so much inclined to supporting some of these wars, especially with Israel, their allegiance or political support to Israel? Why is that?
I would say that it's a system that's based on inequality, and it can't offer those things to anyone all over the world. We see that how they fight for their own interests internationally. Look at everything that's happening from the Suez Canal to the war to Ukraine, all of it. They're fighting for their own interests, and they do not fight in the interests of any ordinary people who live here or in any country around the world, including ordinary people who live in Israel, both Jewish and Arab workers who want a decent, safe future for their own families. None of these politicians offer that. They fight in their own interests. And that's why we think we've got a really good response as well as socialists who campaign against inequality and capitalism and for a real alternative.
To the best of your knowledge, how many people has died since the 7th of October?
It's tens of thousands of people, and also overwhelmingly ordinary people, families, children. And that is just another expression of how disgusting this system is and what it offers ordinary people.
Right. So would you blame the system here, the political foreign policy?
Yeah, we would say the system absolutely is guilty internationally. All it offers is more insecurity, more war, more poverty in defence of the few at the top. We see that in Sunak, who himself is a representative not of ordinary people but of the rich in this country as well.
So coming from the Socialist Party, from the socialist point of view, your voices are all about the masses.
Yes, absolutely.
Supporting the masses, the interests of the masses.
Yeah.
And to the best of your knowledge, over 70% of the British public are pro-Palestine.
We definitely see that. Thousands of people coming out today, even after the sort of Christmas break, still wanting to make their voices heard and saying that they want a decent, peaceful future for all. That's what I think the message of today has been, yeah.
Yeah. And people have been quite receptive to some of your engagement.
Yeah.
Completely, yeah, very open-minded. Because I think people just are looking for some sort of alternative. And in this country, it just feels like people are very frustrated because it just feels like we're being offered nothing other than what we have right now. So I think for people at marches like this, if this, like, our ideas are like quite refreshing. It sort of gives people hope that it doesn't have to be this way. That there's an alternative, and that's why people are so open-minded, I think. Yeah.
So your final thoughts to people who have not yet decided to support Palestine, people who are still on the fence, or people who may just subscribe to the propaganda of Israel, what would be your final thoughts to those people?
I would say that, yeah, today has been about fighting for a decent, peaceful future for all people, including, like I said, people who live, workers who live in Israel and workers who live in every country. We want a decent, peaceful future for all. And actually, yeah, that's why we've been here today. That's what we think today is about. And that's what we've been campaigning for.
Your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that for people who maybe aren't right now, don't agree with our position, I just think that if you believe in peace and prosperity and an equal world for everybody, then you just agree with the fundamentals of what we believe in. So if you believe those things, then we can discuss our ideas and forge a new way forward, I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.